In this video, we're going to be going over the mechanics for a standard split squat, meaning both feet are on the ground. I'm doing all my reps on one side, switching feet, doing them on the other side. There'll be further videos for going into the variations like front foot elevated, rear foot elevated, things like that. So to get set up in a good position for a split squat, I want my feet to start underneath my hips, underneath these bony spots, your headlights. I want my feet right underneath there, and then I'm basically going to slide my working leg forward, the other leg straight back. I'm going to play with my distance here to find like what feels like a comfortable balanced position. I should feel like I have about 60% of my weight on the front leg, 40% of my weight on the back leg or so. I don't want to have all of my weight on the front or way too much on the back side. This front leg, I'm just going to make sure I get my full foot contact. So that might mean you need to go through the full setup of on your heel, find the outside edge, roll across your heel until that big toe contacts, and then just relax the toes down. And I'm just going to try to maintain that pressure the whole time. Back foot, I'm going to have my heel off of the ground. So I'm on the ball of my foot, not on my toes, just on the ball of my foot with a little bit of a knee bend. And that will get me a nice balanced position to my 2 feet. I'm pretty relaxed here. I'm not feel like I'm forcing anything. From this position, front leg is going to be pushing into the ground through the heel like I'm trying to push myself backwards. Back leg is going to be pushing into the ground like I'm trying to push myself forward. This will make your feet push against each other and create a lot of nice stability. It makes you easy to kind of maintain your position. Okay? So, full foot pressure, push back, ball of foot pressure here with a bent knee, push forward. They're going to meet in the middle. Once I find that balance point, I feel like I'm nice and stable between my 2 legs. All I have to do is just maintain those foot contacts and just bend my knees. Push back up. What you should be feeling as you go through a split squat, we should be feeling quad and glute on the front leg, especially this like inner quad. You will feel the whole thing, but I want you to be able to feel that. And then your glute on this front leg. On the back leg, our front of our thigh should be tight and feel like the quad is working on that leg. Again, I want you to feel the front leg doing more work, but you should definitely feel some type of stress, some type of tension on the back leg. If you only feel the back leg, that usually means you are too upright and too shifted back onto that back leg, and you just get more weight on the front leg. If I only feel the front leg and I don't feel anything back here, you're probably too far onto the front leg. You probably need to get a little bit more balanced. Okay? I'm going to go through the same things from a side view, starting with my feet right underneath my hips. One slides forward, find my foot contacts. One slides back. And you'll notice from this position, a little bit of a bent knee. I'm pushing into the ground with both feet. My knee is going to be starting behind my ankle on this front leg. That's just to make sure I have enough space as I go down. I can start to let my foot pronate, let my arch fall in without losing that outside edge of my foot. And my knee is going to be able to go over top my toe without me having to just shift my entire body weight forward. So starting point is here. I want to keep my hips under my shoulders, under my head. And I'm just going to find that balance point, nice and stable there, and I'm just going to be bending my knees to drop straight down. I want my pelvis to more or less be moving up and down like an elevator. So whatever kind of position here makes it able for me to do that is what we're going for. I don't want to be shifting my pelvis forward and back. That is not the goal here. I want to be moving mostly up and down. Like I said, and as long as you feel those muscle groups working, you're probably doing it right. Common compensations or cheats that we'll see with a split squat are going to be, when we're set up here, common one is going to be shifting forward onto your toes on this front leg. Make sure that heel stays on the ground and it stays heavy. So you're going to start here. Front of my foot is light and relaxed, heavy heel. And as I drop down, my knee will drift over top my toes, but it's just my knee going over my toes, not me. Another thing is the back leg. As I bend that back leg, you'll commonly see this knee want to swing out to the side, whether that's to avoid your big toe or it's just because you don't have the amount of knee bend we need. Either way, when that starts to happen, that is the end of your motion. That's all the motion you have available there. That's where you can stop and come back up. Even if it's only to here, that's fine. Push back up. So we're trying to get that knee to drop straight to the ground. The final one that I think is one of the bigger ones, and this isn't all of them, obviously these are just the most common, is going to be what's happening kind of at my torso and my trunk. A lot of times people will, to push themselves back with this front leg, instead of pushing through my foot and pushing everything back. Sometimes people will feel like they're getting back by just doing this and leaning backwards. That is not the same thing. This stuff is all still forward, and you can see my knees already over top my ankle. And this is leaning back. That doesn't do the same thing as me pushing my pelvis and everything backwards and getting set up right behind this foot and letting me drop straight down between my legs. So an easy way to fight this is once you're set up here, reach as far as you can until you actually feel like your upper back is starting to round a little bit. You should not be shrugging, just your upper back starts to round, and this is not a max effort, just super light. Reach until you start to feel that happening. Now keep that reach, keep your arms right there as you try to lift your chest up a little bit. So think open up your sternum and try to get this bigger. And that will put you in a pretty neutral position. And then from there, we just maintain that position as we move up and down. That'll put you in a pretty good stack position overall. And again, that's not everybody needs to do that, but there will be times I cue you to reach your arms and lift your chest. That's what I'm talking about. Usually it's just to avoid that overextension at your low back. So those are the basics of a split squat. Again, biggest things, full foot pressure on that front foot, heavy heel. Make sure you're starting behind that ankle and you're just going to be moving straight up, straight down. Should be feeling lots of quad and glute on the front leg. Should feel some tension and some work happening on the quad of the back leg. If you can feel those big muscle groups doing their job, you're doing it just fine.